Hi guys, welcome to week 4 of the Owner's Box. I'm Janine.
I'm Vince J.
I'm Blue Collar Dave.
And I'm your boy B. Scott.
And last week I said that Tony Romo redeemed himself with his honorable return to the field after his injury, and the skeptics here didn't necessarily agree. Well, what about this week, guys?
I don't know. He's he to me stood up.
He went out and earned his paycheck. He did what he's supposed to do.
He didn't lose.
Didn't lose the game. Well, you got a point there, but
Trent Dilfer. That's all I can say.
oh my gosh, we're going back to the guy who manages the game.
He managed to win a Super Bowl.
Got a point there. Are you saying that Dallas will be in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I know the last time she wore a quarterback's jersey, he didn't fare well the following week. So let's see.
Well, I'm hoping that this is not the next Madden curse here or something. The Janine jersey curse. Hopefully we're not starting something.
That's probably what you're doing. So
Oh, no.
he's already got the punctured lung.
Sorry.
He's getting better, though,
It
because
seems
you're
like he's getting better, though.
Yeah,
I think he's on a winning streak, so we'll see. Well, anyways, someone else who's getting hurt is Michael Vick, and he's hurt again by sitting in the pocket. And for years, people complained that he wasn't in the pocket. So should he go back to the electrifying, run all over the place, Vick, or should he throw from the pocket of protection?
I don't know. Oh God, that boy.
I'm just glad he's in Philadelphia.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Brotherly love.
I'm glad he's in Philadelphia. I mean, listen, I think he needs to get out of the pocket and he needs to run. And he throws great on the run. I think a lot of people have seen that. But if he's standing still at 5'9" and 190 pounds, he's going to get broken in half, and Philadelphia is going to find themselves paying $40 million for somebody who's sitting on the bench.
Well, that's a chance you take when you have Mike Vick. And I don't even think it's Andy Reid. I think the problem is Mike Vick, and he's trying to prove all the skeptics wrong by being that pocket quarterback. If he played his game, the same game that he was playing last year that got him the starting job,
Right.
then I think that Philadelphia will be fine. But don't let that happen this week. Do what you're doing. 49ers is coming to town. Birthday weekend. Help your boy.
Well, see, this is going on here. When your boy Steve from the 49ers
Yeah,
started didn't he start as a runner, kind of, sort of?
he did.
What about, I mean, almost all of the running, per se, quarterbacks started as a runner. As he gets older and he feels more of those pains, what do you see happen?
But Steve Young was always run, but eyes downfield. Vick is more of a, if I'm going to run it, I'm going to tuck it and run. He can throw on the run, probably better than any quarterback in the league. Only problem I have is Steve Young was in the 6'2" range. Vick's 5'9". If he gets caught by somebody and he gets hit one good time, his season's over.
Well, we've been watching that all week.
What, this week, last week? The neck, now the wrist? So what is it next week? Is he in or out?
We'll see. Well, let's move on here. How about Run DMC? Run DMC is not about the 80s rap group anymore, but Darren McFadden's version of Walk This Way makes him the #1 running back in all of the NFL. I mean, guys, is this what Al Davis saw in him?
I don't know if he saw that, but jeez.
Does that make Jason Campbell Jam Master Jay?
Oh my God.
I mean, let's face it. McFadden played in the SEC. He played in one of the toughest conferences in the country in college at the University of Arkansas, and he is a dynamic runner. I think you're getting out of him what you hope to have when the Raiders had
But this isn't the SEC. This is the NFL, not for long.
But it's the AFC West, and it might as well be Kentucky's defense that he's running against sometimes. So
You got a point there. Because they're not running against, I mean, Denver, please.
Right, Denver.
Seattle, come on.
Personally,
San Diego's it.
I'm looking at McFadden, and I really didn't expect him the game to transition into the NFL the way that he did. You've seen shades of what he's done in these last couple weeks, but at this point, I think the Raiders have gone back to what's really gotten them. You hadn't seen since Marcus Allen. You know, when you have that runner that has that capability, and you talked about it last week, Dave, about how Jason Campbell,
Right.
I was a naysayer, said he was a lower tier quarterback, but looking at the way he managed the game and balanced the passing game out with these receivers that stepped up. I mean, Oakland is looking like a front runner in that division.
Yeah.
They are, really. I think they are pretty strong, I think.
All right, guys. Well, stick with us as we move on in the next section. We'll talk about the dreaded Madden curse. how about the Madden curse? I mean, Peyton Hillis was out last week. I mean, do you think that qualifies as a curse, or is there hope for the NFL cover models, as they say?
Cover models. The curse. I mean, he only had like a hiccup. Really. I mean, honestly, I don't think that is.
So might be a sign, though. An omen? Is it a bad
Was that
omen?
the beginning of it? Yeah. Like, you might have a point
I don't
there.
know.
Don't wear his
It's usually
jersey.
a one.
Yeah, don't get.
They
I'll
pretty
try
much
not to get
ended it for
one.
the season, but I don't think that's the case with Peyton. But it's still early.
Well, maybe the curse got reversed. If
The curse was reversed.
If this is the worst he gets, the curse was reversed. If this is the worst that he gets, now we can go to the doctor.
Rapping Dave. I mean, this Run DMC thing is.
Only if he gets 1,000 yards or 1,200 yards. And this is only week 3. So if anything happens later, and then they're going to pull him back a little bit. Hardesty's going to get more of the carries this week. So with that, I think it's going to be less chance of him getting hurt.
So that means Hardesty. Look him up on the waiver wire.
Yep.
All right, well, so now we know that Peyton is going to be done for the year, and Collins is out possibly, and in comes the painter. So what do you...
Painter?
Radio.
Oh!
I get a little radio off the shelf.
Do not listen to this man. Curse.
There you go.
It's crazy. But yeah, Daniel's going to sit. Has he ever? Now he's played in every other team in the league.
Outside of his little fiasco that he had in Detroit, what made him infamous with me. You remember the snap in the end zone, pressure was on him, he runs out of the back of the end zone toward the stands, out the locker room.
He almost, about in the locker room.
And then they finally realized, okay, you're not the punter, that wasn't a design play. Outside of that, he surprisingly came back and played a decent, somewhat season.
Yeah.
A couple games.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't get any worse than a...
And that. No. I don't think he's half bad, but he better be the second or the third guy.
He might be half bad, but he ain't half good. Painter's gonna play, and
He's been there forever.
And right, he's been there. He's been Peyton's backup for 3 years.
Right.
And
And
just
still
like
can't get a start.
right, well, which is ridiculous.
It's a reason why.
Even his teammates said this is ridiculous. Painter should be starting, and he should be given an opportunity.
Only because he's the number one option.
He knew. Well, okay.
On every play.
That's true, but I mean, they knew that this was a guy that should have been playing. Why they called up
Yeah.
Kerry.
Collins? Why they called up Milwaukee? Why don't they just call Jeff George? They can get a canasta game going.
I'm telling you, Mississippi's finest is still waiting. Call him up.
Call up Brett. I'm sure he can give up the Wrangler jeans commercial and get off the floor.
Give him $40 million, yeah. I come out of retirement.
Yeah, you know, of course, he better have his. Of course, we're going to talk about his CVS card. Better be updated.
Okay.
Not gonna get into that either.
All right, so let's talk. Arian Foster versus Ben Tate. Which one is on the way up and which one is on the way down? What do you think?
Any thoughts on that? Because I'm like,
Arian.
Yeah, Foster's back in. Tate's got a sprained knee, I believe, from yesterday. You know, look, if you listened to us last week, you knew Foster was going to sit. They were going to play Tate in a non-conference game. Now we're back to, I think they're back to conference play, if I'm not mistaken. And now you got Arian Foster, who is 90% healthy.
Right.
Tate's a little banged up. They're going to swap it up and go with Arian Foster.
well, let me ask you, let me throw this wrinkle. Are they going to split? You think it's going to be a 70-40, 70-30? Is it going to be a 60-40? Or is it going to be 100%?
I think it's really going to depend on how Arian really feels out the game. When he starts playing, and you know, he's starting to run well, then let him get his reps. At that point, you see Steve Slayton got him a few touches as well.
Slayton's cut.
So they're just going through and they're just playing the game. If you look at it, the Houston team, it doesn't make a difference who you put in the backfield with that.
Wow. As long as it's going to Johnson.
As long as they've got a legitimate running back who can give them 80 to 100 yards, you know Schaub, if you look at the way he's throwing the ball around, as long as he has a running game that people have to respect, then he's going to be fine and he's going to get his numbers throwing the ball around.
I'm wondering if they're running the same type of style that they did in Denver.
Absolutely.
Because when they were in Denver, they plug in somebody. It didn't matter who. I mean, remember, a couple of years ago it was Slayton. Last year, we had Foster. This year it's Tate. So it's like, I don't care who you put back there. Let's run it.
Well, where'd Kubiak come from?
Yeah. He came from
that Denver
Yeah,
situation.
so I'm just trying to say.
Isn't it starting to remind you a little bit of last year where you had Green Bay who really didn't have the running back that they wanted.
Right.
Grant was hurt, but they had just enough of a
Starts
running game
in there
to
and-
give Rodgers enough room to throw the ball around. I think that's what we're probably looking at.
Okay, well, we'll see.
So the game of the week is Dallas and, dare we say it, the Lions?
Oh yeah, Lion King. The Lion King.
You think that?
In 3D, like it's playing right now.
Do you think? Dare we say the Lions? Who? I mean, really?
Can we bring Barry off the show?
Oh, you know, I should have put Barry up on there. Anyway, so.
I mean, Romo with the injured rib, I can only say two words. Domicon Sue. The guy is an absolute
That hurt.
beast.
That hurt.
Detroit's defense is playing solid football. And you got to remember the kid from Auburn, Nick Fairley, he's not even playing. He hasn't really
He's
played.
back.
And supposed
He's
to
back.
play. So imagine putting he and Sue together, and then you got
Let's have a meeting.
Yeah, and then you got
Yeah,
the
quarterback.
Georgia connection. You got Matthew Stafford from the University of Georgia. You got Calvin Johnson from Georgia Tech, and they are hooking up all over the place. I actually like Detroit in that game.
You can't help but take Detroit in that. I'm feeling Detroit right now. They've done over the years. When the laughing stopped 2 years ago, when you don't even win a game, to where you are now, the division's weakening up. It's prime time for Detroit.
Do you see 16-0?
I definitely don't see 16-0.
15-0. 15-1.
I know. I see maybe a 10-6.
Making the playoffs.
Winning that second in the division, because I think Green Bay's going to edge them out with an 11-5.
Okay.
Alright. Well, I guess we will see. Coming up, we've got the fantasy football, so stay tuned. So of the top positions that people were taking early, who would you guys bench or cut? I mean, I'd probably go with Arian Foster, you know, with his malfunctioning quadricep.
Malfunction there.
What you think? That's a good. You think?
Yeah.
Or
I think she's not bad for that situation.
okay.
I'd definitely pick. If he's not picked up, gotta go.
Right.
Same thing. Quad, whatever it is. Leg.
Anything that prevents you from actually running.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll probably also go with CJ2K. Yeah.
He hadn't been doing jack these last couple of days.
You know what?
Got to get.
I'm not ready to give up on him yet. You know,
He's on the bench.
He's on the bubble.
Or if somebody want to offer me a trade, he's out.
he might be on the bubble in some places. I'm going to tell you, if you have a decent running back on your roster, keep him. Remember, they missed OTAs. They missed all the training
How long do you
camp.
give him?
I give him 2 more weeks, but I think he's going to have a breakout week this week.
In 2 weeks, what do you do? If he's doing what he's doing right now,
absolutely doing nothing, which I do not see being the case, then you find somebody else which you'll be able to pick up on.
that's
the way.
going to happen. So
That
he'll
being
be
the
picked up.
case, then you might as well do a good trade for him now to get some value for him.
High,
opposed to-
sell him high.
I think you're going to be sorry that you trade him, but that's you guys make that call.
Okay, we're going to go with that.
Well, I'd also go with Mike Vick.
Mike
I wouldn't
Vick.
go anywhere with Mike Vick. Be careful.
Well,
Vic is he gonna? Would you sell him? Would you trade him? Would you sit him?
put him in a glass case.
Yeah, exactly. He's break when
If you put him on a glass case, then he's not really not going to survive.
break glass. When
I guess that no,
emergency.
in a not a glass case, in a stainless
You
steel.
gonna buy him or you gonna sell him or you gonna trade him?
That's the rest. That's
Right?
all.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Ooh, they are taking it
Wow.
there, boy.
Wow.
so
And then adding, what about Matt Schaub?
gotta add Matt Schaub right now. He is on fire, almost on fire.
I think like 60-70% of the leagues only have him there.
They don't see him. They're not seeing him.
There's room.
Someone still got Peyton on their squad.
Yeah.
I just cut him, dude. I've been trying to hang on to him, and then when the owner said he won't be back until next year,
Yeah.
You must have been watching my show.
Now, let me say who else I would probably scoop up right now. You got DMC, who's not in every... Okay, Darren McFadden, for you, those guys who don't know who that is. Maybe Matthew Stafford, and Who else?
Go down to Oakland Raiders roster.
Fitzpatrick.
You know what? Fitzpatrick's good. I would go there,
Probably.
but I am so happy he said that about Oakland. I mean, Jokeland was the joke of the year. Now they got the top running back, JC. Well, as cameraman Carl would say, it's JC. You got Jason Campbell is now, I think, in the top 5 of quarterbacks right now.
I see
Crazy.
I see one guy I like that's kind of dropped in some people's eyes. I think you pick him up if you need a tight end. That's Pettigrew. Pettigrew's playing for Detroit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, especially in this Dallas game, they're going to be doubling up on Calvin. I think Pettigrew in the red zone, you're going to get some points out of him. I also like Halou, the running back from Washington. Shanahan and his son have always been known to go with the 2 backs. Hightower runs a little high. He has a tendency to get injured.
Yep.
And I think Halou's going to get his carries in the red zone, and he's been a pretty serviceable back. So those are 2 that I like right off the cuff.
Sounds good. Well, what about our waiver wire pickups? How about let's start with quarterback? I'll probably go with Danny O.
Maybe not. We'll go with Pater. Since Pater might start, but I like Danny O, man. You just gotta say Danny Orlovsky.
You
just gotta love him for that. I'm probably gonna pick up. I don't know if I want to pick up Gabbard or not. It's still kind of a wait and see. But in the rain, I mean, it was raining cats and dogs, poodles and oodles, for real. He still put up 190 something yards, fresh off the bench. Got splinters in his legs and everything, and in the rain.
Well, that's true. The weather was one thing, but let's try to remember who he was playing against. He was playing against Carolina, and let's go over it again. Thomas Davis out for the year. Beeson out for the year. Charles Johnson traded. Carolina's defense is awful.
Okay.
So Gabbard and
that's what you said. That wasn't the litmus stick for that.
Right,
Let's see what happens the next week or two. Pick him up, sit him on your bench, keep an eye on him.
Hasselback, surprisingly, 57% of the leagues actually have him out there right now, and I think it's prime time. Even with Kenny Britt going down, he's actually going to have more opportunities coming into it. And look, Nate.
Oh,
What happened to Nate Washington?
the great Nate?
I mean, he stepped up. So, a lot of opportunities that you want to see
Yeah.
for the whole core out there, and especially Hasselback.
Okay.
What about running back? I'll probably go with LT.
I'm gonna go back with McCluster. I like the LT thing though.
Yeah.
Talk about the LT thing. You said something in the pre meeting here that we had about LT, and or was it you? I can't remember.
I'm staying with Sean Green.
Sean is no. Oh, it was cameraman Carl. That's who said it. He said he was talking about LT because Sean is only getting like 2.8 yards per carry. He sucks. It's time. This is his 3rd year doing the exact same thing. You're not gonna get anything else out of him. He is a bum, honestly. LT is the man. Gotta go with him.
Tried and proven.
Now there's two guys going to be out that we talked about in pre as well, and that was Gore is going to be out for San Francisco, and Cedric Benson, I think, as everybody knows, is going to be spending some time on the sidelines serving a punishment.
There you go.
So you've got Kendall Hunter
Community service.
from San Francisco, and you've got Bernard Scott.
Bernard Scott. That's right. He's been out there. He's been there for a couple of years. Kind of got it started before. We'll see. We'll see if he gets it started again.
All right. Well, moving on along, for wide receivers, I'm going to go with David Nelson. Who you got?
We'll go with Pierre Garçon. I like Painter back in the game, so Garçon's going to give him somebody to throw to.
All right, let's go back to Oakland Raiders. I mean, I'm looking out there, Denarius.
Burleson. That's who I want to go with. I was wondering which way you want to go. Burleson.
All righty. Well, coming back, we've got Twitter talk for you. So. All right, so on Twitter last night during the Monday night game, somebody asked, Why isn't Romo seeing the best guy on the field in Des Bryant? What do you think
He's
about
not
that?
the best guy on the field. I'm sorry.
Well, he saw him when he was wide open. He torched D'Angelo Hall.
D'Angelo Hall. Wow. Talk about closing your mouth.
Hey, D'Angelo, you and I are probably about 500 miles apart, and right now that's about 2 miles short of where you were from Dez when you caught that ball. Okay? So for the rest of the season, just shut up.
Cover the wide receiver, leave the quarterbacks alone.
You talking about ribs. Dude, you were 2 seconds away from ordering a McRib while Dez was catching the ball and putting the game away. You're the only human being. I mean, and D'Angelo Hall, the only human being who can give up 45 yards on one play. And when he was here in Atlanta, if you recall, when he and Steve Smith got into it, he gave up 60 yards in 2 plays and gave up game-winning scores on both.
And
You gotta love the guy. I'm so
and
glad
claim to
he's
be
so
the
I was
much
about to say, he obviously don't like him. So, moving on.
So tell us how you really feel. Okay, next question. At Pat's Rule 23 asks, please help. Do I trade Welker and Fort for McCoy and Wallace in a PPR keeper?
I'm trading. I'm making that trade.
There's no way I'm making
let's
that trade.
make a deal.
No.
Are you
It's-
serious?
it's-
Wallace?
Listen, for a trade to be good, it has to be mutual consideration.
is!
There's no question these are great. He's offering great players for great players. I look at the matchups and I look at what you've got. Who we got? We're talking about Forte and
Wes Welker.
Yeah.
Wes Welker,
Mhm.
and who they're going up against.
No.
I like keeping them.
Me, and for the same reason on the opposite end is why I'm keeping it. Mike Wallace is going to see nothing but deep balls from Big
All
Ben.
day.
And then if you're talking about LaShawn McCoy, all right,
Who's coming up
the
strong?
best thing that's happening with Philadelphia right now is LaShawn McCoy. Until you can get Deshaun Jackson back, with Michael Vick up in the air, LaShawn McCoy is carrying that team. And
Yeah.
he's going to do nothing but continue to carry it for the rest of the season. Let's make a deal. Howie, where you at?
I'm jumping on that right now. First, Wes Welker is not going to catch 16 passes for 200
Every game.
something yards
No.
every game.
And-
He won't be doing that again.
He's still going to give you points, and the thing you got to remember is
That's
when
true.
Mike Vick goes out and you got McCoy in the backfield, now all of a sudden they're going to be keying on McCoy. I just like having Wes Welker better.
Alrighty, well, so how about our own teams? I'm having very bad luck so far, but I have high hopes for week
you
4,
suck,
so
so-
what about you guys?
I'm winning. I'm 3-0.
I'm just along for the ride.
Oh,
Well, me, I'm 0-3, but remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I'm coming down the
good point. All right, guys, well, thanks for joining us with the Owner's Box, and stay tuned for week 5 next week. Thank you. I'm Janine.
I'm Vince J.
I'm Blue Collar Dave.
It's your boy, B. Scott.
And we are out.
See you next week.